Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. It's the daily news, and strap in, there is a ton going on. So it's Flash Feud Week. Feud prep is actually up early, so that's cool. Um, there's that. There's so many events going on. Let's just start with stipulation. There's two different stipulation events, um, and one of them is going to be feeding a faction event. So there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot going on. So this Pros Platinum faction contest here. You get points by collecting signs, winning showdown battles. There's a showdown going on too, by the way. Stip tour on normal, hard, and hell, the Oktoberfest one. And then your faction will get tickets for the hell mode to do multiple runs. So you want to make sure and use all those tickets. This Stip tour, the Oktoberfest one, is a 24-hour one, right? So it's just do damage. You can rebuy and get points for your faction with cash if you have the cash, so go ahead and do that. And then hell mode, you'll just want to rerun with all of your tickets as much as you can. First place in hell mode has a chance to get Ludwig Kaiser gear. Let's actually click on the news tab. Yeah, it should come up. So there's a new moment. We'll look at that. Gunther has the new gear. It's in the loot and a prize wall. And Kaiser has the new gear. Of course, if you have his previous gear already, the new gear would give 200% leech. If you don't, the new gear would give 4 starting MP. So that's from the stipulation leaderboard, top 100. Get Kaiser's gear for doing the most damage. And then after that, you can get it off the prize wall. There's 2 different prize walls, so there's, like I said, there's a metric crap ton of going on. So the faction contest, right? That one Stip tour feeds it. Apparently, I just got another milestone. There's also a loot contest for the faction that uses loot coins that gives you the gold steins, which are used for prize wall currency. So this is usually paywalled fairly heavily, as doing polls is the only way to get there. So your faction, if they're a big spending faction, you'll get a bunch. If they're not, you won't get much of anything for gold. So yeah. All right. Unless we get, I don't think we get any gold currency in this. Yeah, this is all silver. If your faction maxes this one though, talk about big money, no whammy. Crossfire plate, potentially rainbow or all the other colors. So this is a really big faction event. You want to make sure you do your stuff, right? You cannot not do your stuff. You'll be screwing your whole faction out. So that's very important. There is another Stip tour going on, and this one is using column breaks, I'm sorry. And it's a tournament. It looks, this bracketing shows, 1, 2, 3 rounds. I don't know how many there is for sure. I didn't say in the news, but that looks like 3 rounds. And it's using column break gems. So on this account, I'm just using Hall of Fame Lex. Mherex, I tried a couple different people. There's a bunch of good column break people. So like, I'll just throw some out there for you. Do your filter and find your best, but Lex is good, Truth is solid, McDonough is solid, Nash is good, and then Goldberg's really good too. But what I would do is filter and then just sort by your person that makes the most column break gems. After that, it's just props and getting as many column breaks out as you can, right? So maxing your enforcer, maxing your promoter. It's really straightforward, really easy. There's also a damage component, however, that's much smaller. 1,000 points of damage for 1 point. So yeah. So that's going on, and you'll want to do that daily because there's also nice rewards daily in those. Those can also be rebought, potentially letting you get the reward again. So go ahead and go for that if you feel like it. So that covers the Stip tour part. There's also you don't want to miss out. Tonight will be Monday meta. It's not going on right now because Raw hasn't started, but it's 2.5 times speed. So you want to do those tours, right? For your hype to the Mondays and Sundays, and I think it's Sunday, Saturdays, whatever. The 2.5 days are the really big ones. So, okay. So that kind of covers the Stip tours and the faction event. There's also a showdown event going on. It lasts 3 days, and it's got a weird end time, 3 days and 3 hours. So like at reset, so not your normal kind of ending time. So be aware of that. There's also good stuff in the prize wall if you're not in a lower league like me. If you're in a higher league, it has up to 40 pulls and 6 million points. So I do expect this to be a pretty competitive showdown, with most likely people doing spending in lots of brackets. So just be aware of that. Okay, so we talked about this faction one. We talked about the loot one, the solo event. Your first time pull is worth 4 times points, 280,000. Otherwise, one pull is worth 70,000. So first place in the showdown, if you get 40 pulls in the max league, is worth 2.8 million points. It's a lot. But the tasks are not too bad. Any Gunther damage, technician, showboat, striker, trickster. That's what that's called. And then any Gunther again, and then those classes again, then any Gunther again, and then you get some of the harder people where, you know, like harder to get Drew, Alliance Austin, that was Showboat Drew, Ilya, Haku, and new Kofi Kingston. Then there's also bonus points for getting a win with new Kofi and New Woods, respectively, right? So, yeah, that's the solo event. There's a lot of milestones. This is one where it's pretty back weighted. So I've opened like 3 chests on Mherex bags. Every one was 175. That's going to be your normal average. 175-ish is probably what you'll average unless you hit a big thing from the Steins. And really, you don't start getting into high bag quantities. As you see here, there's 2 in this one until the bonus milestones, right? So 3 here. You know, now we're up to 4, and as you go, they just get more and 6. So showdown, winning your showdown is going to play a big part in where you get, or doing well in it, getting those pulls in it, or of course spending plus the other stuff, getting the bonus ones that you can. That's really going to factor into your steins, right? And then how your faction does as well, because this event obviously has a ton of steins. So if your faction does well, yeah, you're going to be super happy, because you're going to pull a bunch of steins, and when we get to that prize wall, you're going to be like, oh dang, this is good. So yeah, don't miss any of the daily stuff, whatever that might be, whether it's doing stip or whatever. It's all important. You're going to want to do that for sure, for sure. So yeah, that's kind of the showdown in a nutshell. There's no traps as far as claiming your rewards. You can just claim them whenever. You're safe to claim. So that's nice. No like energy sitting there or anything like that. Now let's look at, that covers the big events going on, I suppose. Let's kind of go through some of the tours. Secret Harvest Tour, no big deal there. That's standard. Victory Tour, standard. Mata Sacred, you got 2 days on this one for your Gunther matches. So get those done. Oktoberfest Tour. Today you can use the Gunther we all has. Tech Gunther. And there's other ones, but I actually already did it on the free-to-play. I can't remember the other ones. You'll see when you pull it up, but I was able to get through it all with Tech Gunther. Luckily, the one that would be the hardest, William Regal, is triple green, and he's got a sub, and Gunther has a sub reversal if you put that move in. That made it pretty easier. This is a 3-day timer on the Energy Tour. You can save this for whenever you want. I would recommend saving it towards the end, but you do you. Yeah, and then there's a Steel Stein Tour. This is Steel Cage, or Voldemort tours, and you get some bonus black gem, silence, multiply red, blue, green, blah 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 blah, and you get screwed by no entourage or straps or medals. So you're raw dogging. Skill plates work, moments work, props work, gear works, perks work, but you no entourage and no straps. So you're just going in there and having a jolly good time. It's Imperium, so most of us will probably be using Tech Gunther, and I would imagine maybe you're using one of the others, but... And then you have the bonus Steel Giants one, which Ilya is the CSS for that, and some buff damage. And then this one again, no entourage, no straps, medals, but skill plates do work, so there's that. As far as rewards go, the wood shards are not locked behind the CSS, so that's nice, right? So, and this is Steins, again, not locked behind the CSS, so that's nice as well, right? There is the timer on those is the timer on the event. So you got 4 days timer on that, so no big deal there, right? It is the last week, so you want to start getting all of these done if you've been putting them off like me. And then we have the weekly tours. So we have Acrobat, which is Acrobat Live. Watch Me. The not good one. So yeah. That's your CSS for that one. And then we have Legends Era, which is King Kong Bundy. And then we have, finally, New Gen Era or Bam Bam Bigelow being the CSS. So that one's a little bit, that's probably that's the toughest one for sure. Then your regular Champs Tour if you have the subscriptions, right? So that's your tours. Okay. I think that is all of that done. Yeah. All right. What else is going on then? There is Talent Up. So Talent Up for Feud, of course, is live. Feud Prep Talent Up competition. You guys are used to this by now. Of course, if you need the wood shards, there's there. Chest of Disappointments there. Armory currency goes up to this one. I'll be looking to try and get to 64K on the free to play for that armory currency, right? So yeah. Of course, the faction weekly one is going on too, so I think that covers this whole page. And we looked at all the tours, so I guess that means we're on to the offer review. 6-star gold Ilya. You can straight up buy 6-star gold Ilya for $100. It also comes with a mega pull and 1250 steins. I don't hate this. Although if you're the kind of person that usually spends $100, there's maybe a good chance you have Ilya, right? You could spend a lot worse 100 in my opinion than getting Ilya, but at the same time, these are really hard for me to say yes, because even though you're getting the mega's free, right? And this is a really good card. It's just so much money, right? So, but I guess it's fine. I think it's a good offer actually, if that makes sense. So, Kaiser here is a free claim. Let's get him claimed up. Gunther is a free claim, although most people should have him at this point from Armory. And then they're straight up selling Kaiser and Gunther at 6-star silver for $7 each. With pulls and steins, I don't hate either of these offers. As you guys know, I like these offers, so I think they're fine. I think they're great. If that's the kind of thing you want to do, you don't have the resources, you don't have them up there, you're not going to get deep enough into the armory contest to get this for free. I think those are great. Starter packs, not really. I mean, like, they're there all week, so no rush, right? Or they're there for 2 days. You need the stuff at the end, you need it. This is the Oktoberfest, the Stip tour for the Crossfire plate. You have to claim that. And then you get an Imperium Stip claim as well. And of course, we're selling energy because there's a showdown that has a lot of points in it. So we have 5 energy in econ, and then 12 energy in econ. Obviously 12 is better than ratio than 5, so better value if you're buying energy there. There is a moment, we'll look at the moment. It comes with 7 pulls and it's $20. It's 4 tokens, so you have to buy it 4 times, $80 for the moment. If you want to commit to it, we'll look at that in just a minute. $80 is a lot. You do get pulls every day, which feed the event as well. Oh yeah, I shouldn't go past this. It's a new week. Backstage pass for crappy Live. I don't think Live is good, but I do like the value on the backstage pass, so I think that's still like normal. I think that's a good deal. Catch-up ones, not so much. Prize Wall Raider, definitely not. Claim your free bag. Let's see if we get anything good. Nope, nothing too exciting. Yeah. Marquee credentials, you want to grab those. All right, so let's take a look at that new moment. That'll cost you $80 if you want it. I didn't have Kaiser, so I was pretty happy about that. Here we go. All right. 50% more health. We got a Lundra Blaze. We got new Brock. They sold for 20 bucks. We got El Grande. We got Powerhouse Kurt, Acro Ray, Predator Orton, and then Showboat Gunther. So you get 50% health, 75% more multiply damage. I think this is applying only to Gunther and Ray on the multiply damage. Immobiles. Is Brock's one moveset immobiles? I think it probably is. Botch Gems works on El Grande. And then you got green and red gems 100% each. Big on El Grande, to be honest, for the colors. Okay, for Alundra, she's not good, though. Maybe if she gets more moments, she could be. But the health is really cool. I like this moment mostly for El Grande for the health. Yeah, it doesn't really do a heck of a lot for Brock other than give him some more health. So to me, it's mostly an El Grande and Showboat Gunther moment. But yeah, it's not bad. I'm not gonna go for it. I don't like spending that much for moments, and even though you get the pulls and stuff, I don't feel like spending 80 bucks for the moment with the pulls. I don't think it's bad. I just don't. Not for me, right? So that's that. And then we go here, and we got a bunch of loot scissors to look at. So let's start with the least interesting first. Just the week 4. These are pretty standard at this point, guys. You know the drill. It's the last week. Let me go ahead and do my single pulls. Why not? Big money, no whammy. 150 Naya shards. That'll come in useful when I evolve her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star silver mist. That actually I think is a fuse. So that's fine. Is this enough for a 55 pull on the briefcases? Okay, we'll skip all on that too. See if we get anything cool. Ah, DX Triple H. That's a new one. So we got one new one. Some shards. That will take forever to get them. And we hit we hit these guys a bunch. But didn't need any of them. So anyway, there's that. Back to the actual weekly loot. Not this one. Did I go? Here it is. This one. So, of course, mega rares, you're not guaranteed a featured, so 3 mega rares, and the featured is Muscle Man, Abby, Gunther, you know, Mommy. Even the featured pool is not real great on this one. There's some awesome stuff, but there's some not good stuff, which you know is weighted higher. So you get 3 from this pool, which is Ray or Ray Phoenix or Abby. They're both really good. Super rare. I don't really feel like either of these two are relevant. Some people try to make Bam Bam a thing, but I don't think so. Eh. And then, you know, your typical very rare, uncommon. You know, usually there's a couple highlights and a bunch of fluff mixed in that you hope you don't get. This one feels, I don't know. I think this one is maybe less good than it's been all week. But then you get to the shards, and again, if you hit the shards, there's some really good shards, but there's a ton of them, and odds of hitting the ones you want, etc., etc. Anyway, pretty standard. It is what it is. It's not feeding anything really exciting at the moment, so I don't. That's a pass for me. And then this is so there's 2 loots. Be very aware. One feeds the solo. One feeds the faction. They don't both feed the solo, right? So you have to decide if you're spending for the faction stuff, this one, the Loot Fest, right? Or if you're spending for the solo event. So keep that in mind. They are different loot coins. Don't mess that up. So let's look at the faction loot first. And it's 2 super rare or higher in a 55 pull. What? That seems super crappy. Let's see what is in the super rare though. That sounds really crappy. Featured has 2%. So 55 pull, odds are you should hit 1 featured, but don't really count on it. You know what I mean? And super rare is the next step down. So they just didn't, that's why it looks bad. Okay. It's not as bad as it looks, but I mean at 18%, the 3 guaranteed on this are, or the 2 guaranteed are not really that big a deal on 55 pull. You're probably getting some anyway. I feel like this should definitely have a featured guarantee, but the percentage is 2%. Anyway, whatever. It's fine so far. Fine. It's actually pretty good, and then you get to shards, so plan on hitting shards because that's what usually happens. There's also a finals ticket, which won't. Honestly, this is kind of dumb to me because if you're playing the Stip Tour, to get to the finals, you have to be in the top 250, and then to win in the finals, you need the top 100. So, like, if you missed by that much, yeah, I don't know. That just seems kind of dumb. Anyway, whatever. Don't think getting to the finals is going to get you a plate because it won't. So don't buy it trying to get the plate, right? Then we move into super rare, and these are all really good again, and then it goes to shards again. So if you plan on hitting shards, I think you're fine. And the quality of shards and stuff does look pretty good to me, to be honest. But these are low counts, so don't expect miracles here, guys. But the loot itself looks fine. Other than, you know, you can get some of these tankards and steins as well. But just plan on it being a shard loot. I don't think you're going to hit full cards very much with the way the loot looks. But I could be wrong. Then we have the Oktoberfest loot. This is where you can get the Gunther. We're going to look at the prize walls after this. The Gunther gear, you can also get the Gunther gear in the prize wall. 40 pull gives you 5 mega rares. So not the featured loot. Featured is 1.5%. So not quite odds of hitting it. You know, that's like what, I don't know, 60, 70 pulls, something like 70-ish, 65 pulls, probably 1 in 65-ish. Then 8.5% for mega. So a few of those, but probably not a ton. Gunther with his gear. We got Ray, Haku, Kamala, Austin. You know, so I mean, it's really good. Featured pool, right? Yeet still looks pretty good. Now it's starting to get a little less good, a lot less good. I mean, considering you don't even hit the featured, 1 guaranteed, I feel like could be a lot better. There's a ton of cards in there. It feels really diluted with the amount of cards in there. And again, it all comes down to just simply knowing that they're not equal odds besides all of these in there, right? Like, yeah, with these guaranteed, you're getting a bunch of crap for the most part, unless you get lucky. You know what I mean? Super rare, there's a few like to maybe try and get you to bite at, but nothing that's gonna blow you away, right? I mean, like, yeah. You're not like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that's in the super rare. Or anything like that. So it's not even like trying to tempt you on these lower tiers. They're just kind of meh. Neither of the loots look great, to be honest, but I think that's for a reason, and that's the prize walls. If you look at the prize wall, that's where the good stuff is. And when I say good stuff, I mean good stuff. So the Stein's prize wall. Rainbow Crossfire plate. Frankie plate. These are my favorite 2 things on the wall, for sure, I think. I mean, I don't know. I need to look at it more. So this is not a prize wall breakdown. But I love those 2 plates. Flurries is solid. Ring of Royalties, okay. Gunther gear is more than all of those. So I can tell you right now, on my free-to-play, I would never take the Gunther gear. I would take a plate all day. And even on Mherex, right? Like, Gunther, he's got a ceiling and stuff, and like the plates are just gonna be way more beneficial to my whole account. So I wouldn't touch the gear over that. Seems really high priced, so I don't like it. It is good gear though. And then you got, I mean, the Viscera plate, Bloodsuck. This is awesome plate, Tama plate, and then you got color Crossfire ones like Becky says hi, Smash says hi, right? Ray Phoenix says hi. These are awesome. Awesome plates. Haku plate showing up. Gruesome guys for Kamala. These are some really good. I love this pricing in here. That jumps out at me right away. You got Rainbow Big Botch Man down here. Rainbow Transfusion down here. So a big fan of the price points on the plates and good stuff in the different tiers, right? Honestly, it's a solid looking plate prize wall. You should be able to come away hopefully with something. I'm hoping my free to play can get at least to this kind of range, right? Even better would be here, but I mean, I'll take what I could get. And then we got some moments. Super expensive Wyatt 6. Beer Bath is a great moment, but crazy expensive as well. Hall of Fame moment is insane for JBL and Ron. It's quite good. Also, I think Steamboat's on that moment, if I'm not mistaken. Kind of a sneaky ad. We got the Dom Betrays Rhea Ripley one, Invasion one, um, Bret Hart versus Austin. Was this the expensive one? I can't remember if this was the expensive one or not. We have to, yeah. Then you got shards, three big quantities of shards, 350, 350, 150 Kamala, 250 El Grande, 150. Are they finally doing a little bit better with Austin pricing? Not really. He's still way more expensive than he's worth. Drew, Viscera shards really cheap. Ilya cheap, not bad on Jacqueline. I mean, Lyra super cheap. Gunther shards, holy cow, man! Like, dude, that's super good pricing on the Gunther shards. You can pick up 500 total. Bex, Bundy, Mercy. Love the Mercy shard pricing too. You get 700 Mercy shards for 8K. We got Bliss. Andre is a clutch coach, trainer. You got to take him gold though, but very good. 2 red, 2 multiply. 2 red MP, 2 multiply. Cody there again, finish the story or continue the story. He's awesome. Like, so really good shard pricing, I think, too. As per usual, I'm gonna hate the pricing on the straps. Just I get them from events, right? And the variables, whatever. I get the straps from the event. These are just always grossly overpriced. And then econ, as you know, I hate all that. No starfill frags to talk about. So, but in general, holy smokies, this is a wall with a ton of different price breakpoints, right? Where you can find some valuable stuff. I mean, like, you can even get a decent enough moment in the 5K range. You got some big shard quantities in the 5K range. You move up to like the 10 to 13K. You got some nice plate selections, a decent moment, some better shards, right? Some plates. Yeah, I just really like the price breaks in this. It feels like people should be able to get something at least, right? Um, and the golden tankard ones, this is if your faction spends 199 gets you the Kaiser gear. Um, okay, it's cheap compared to the rest, but these, if you have delusions of grandeur about these, good luck. Your faction's gonna have to go a long way, but the Howdy one is the one to get, period. If you don't have Howdy, unless you're like close shard wise, no brainer to get Howdy if you get there, because of the training ability. Holy crap, is Yeet cheap. Um, yeah. Wow. As you can see, I'm just kind of looking at this really good price on Lyra. I mean, my free to play would much rather have Lyra than the Ludwig gear, personally. You know what I mean? Solo at 6-star gold. That is, man, if you're in a faction that spends, you might have some good choices. Then it come down to plates, yellow rumble, green piper, blasting off, not super great. Useful, but not like, doesn't add a ton of damage, but very, very useful on tons of people. One of the better Royal Rumbles, in my opinion. I think the yellow is one of the better ones, probably. Actually, there's a bunch that are really good. Then you got all the color flurry plates except the rainbow, all the color reinforcements except the rainbow, all the color transfusions except the rainbow. And then you got new bloodline token, which these, and the 7th anniversary. These are really expensive considering. Right, the Miz and Maurice renew their vows. Final Testament. The moment tokens just feel really expensive to me in this one. So yeah, this prize wall definitely not as good, because you're probably not getting here easily unless you're in a big faction. But if you do and you're getting some, I mean, like the Yeet, I would say Jay Yeet at 499 jumps out for sure. Lyra jumps out. Howdy, and obviously the Green Piper's power and the yellow Royal Rumble are the ones that jump out there. So I feel like the moments are overpriced on this one. So yeah, that's kind of what you're playing for. A ton going on. If you're curious how my free to play did over the weekend, faction maxed. So I got 20K from the faction, which means, and then 4,000 from the faction ranking. So 24,000 there, and I earned apparently the 5,050 left over. Pretty big, potentially, I suppose, decision people might think for me on the free to play, but it's actually quite easy. Um, I'll get Smash in the next month or two. Smash is awesome. I have Mellow. So it's a no-brainer to grab this one for me. I'm always plates first. So yeah. Now after that, these plates don't do much for me, so I don't really care, right? And I don't have enough for Alexa, but I do have just enough to get a 6-star fuse for Beefcake. And that to me is also a no-brainer when you look at the rest of the stuff. So I'm actually really happy how this broke down for the free-to-play. I'm pretty good with that, right? So yeah, just kind of threw that in for a little extra for you guys. What else? I think that's about it. I'm up to 44,000 currency on the Fury medals. If you're wondering where my Smash shards are at, I can show you that. Mherex main account has recruited Smash and Woods at this point. Smash, I'm still 900 away. We'll see where I end up, usually right around 1,500-ish. I would love to get there this time. And then Woods, I'm nowhere near. But that's okay. Yeah, 1,200, right? So 1207. So that's where I'm at. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, as expected, this was a long news because of all the stuff going on. But yeah, get your stuff done and get your faction stuff done. Play as much as you can, get everything you can, because some nice prize wells this weekend. I'll do a proper breakdown maybe tomorrow or the day after on the prize well, see how I feel. But remember to like, subscribe, and share because that really helps me out. And that, guys, thanks for watching. Good luck out there. Yep. So much going on. Crazy Monday. Crazy Monday.